This episode is brought to you by eLiquid. For 20% off your first purchase, visit eliquid.com/madcast30 and use promo code madcast30 during checkout. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from podcast hits to dipshits. With over 4 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Oh, I didn't see you there, Maddox. Hey!
And special guest this week, Lesley Tsina and Christina Hepburn.
Yay! Oh!
Welcome back to the show. Guys, exciting show this week. We've got a return guest, Christina, and first-time guest, Lesley Tsina. Guys, welcome to the show. Today we're going to be debating whether or not people you give gifts to are ungrateful idiots. That's the debate this week because we have a lot of thoughts on that, but I should probably give a more proper introduction. So, Christina, welcome back to the show. You're an actor, writer, and you have a sexpert, right? You're a sexpert.
Yeah.
I guess, do you like that expression or no?
I do, yeah. I feel pretty expert on all things sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sex, love,
I'm
and
definitely
relationship.
intimacy expert.
Yeah.
Where do you go to
Got to
school?
get real intimate with people.
Do you go to a special school for that? Or is that
they
more of
do
a
have a
hands-on?
school actually in San Francisco for
Really?
somatic sex work. Yeah. I did not attend the school, but I have interviewed and done lots of workshops with a lot of people who have gone to the school.
Is it hard to get through a workshop from all the people giggling the entire time?
No, I think you lose the giggle pretty early on.
Really?
You're really
Cool.
into it.
Yeah, it's and you've just launched another new podcast as well, which it's a cuddling podcast. Is that right?
Oh, I appreciate that, but no, the cuddling. There is not yet a cuddling podcast. It is percolating in my mind.
Oh, okay. Then we won't get to that yet.
Everyone would like to encourage me. Perhaps their positive online, encouragement would get me to do it. But I had a podcast called TNA Talk Sex. It's still online.
Yeah.
3 years worth of a lot of content, so people do still listen to it.
TNA Talk Sex is your podcast, and it's great. I remember listening to you cover some like really esoteric fetishes and things like that as well, which a lot of people are curious about.
Yeah, I went to like a BDSM club, and this really lovely man, walked me around on a leash and flogged me with handmade deer skin floggers. And
Was it one of those
I learned a lot.
Was it one of those retractable dog leashes that have the button?
Oh, that would shock me.
No, the ones that they go like 15 feet out, and then you like press the button and they like kick back in.
Yeah.
Or was it more of just a standard leash?
I think it was a standard leash.
Okay.
I mean, it's funny now that you mention it, but
Some ladies have all the luck.
Did he also have? Do you have little plastic bags on the side?
these are really great questions. It was hard to notice being on the leash.
Okay.
So I wasn't holding the other side. So, it's possible. And I would believe that somebody out there has been walked on a leash that had a little bag on the other end.
What would you say, out of all the kind of sex fetishes that you came across, what was one that you were very much surprised by that you didn't even know was a thing?
Oh, I didn't know it was a thing. You know what's funny is I thought you were going to ask me like what I liked out of all of it. And somehow that's what I wanted to answer.
Oh, come on. That's on the second hour. Yeah, we get to the real kinky shit. Yeah.
I don't know if anything did surprise me. I think it was more, I would gain like deeper understanding and like relatability. And I think our show was interested in that, which was like, what about this could I understand and maybe even enjoy, right? Like as the lay person being like, what? Like, why would you want to be on a leash? And it was like, oh, it's kind of fun. And like the person, you kind of don't have to control anything and you can kind of be playful with the partner. And, there's like this whole role play. And
Plus, you get to eat out of a bowl.
Yeah, maybe when I saw this woman.
No utensils.
I saw a woman on her hands and knees, like on the cat leash, like full cat outfit, acting like a cat. And I remember actually being, you're right, I was like surprised by, and also surprised that I kind of thought it was cool. like I was like, wait, that is sexy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Next time I get a date
right.
over, I'll be like, hey, baby, I got some bowls and some chow. If you want to do something real romantic.
She was a really good cat.
Yeah.
You just throw a cup of food, slop it, and be like, dinner served.
Yeah. And I should give a proper introduction to our guest, Lesley Tsina,
Yeah.
first-time guest. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Lesley, so honored to have you. Actor, writer, comedian. You've been on so many things. You appeared on Conan, Community, Blackish. You're a writer, and do you want to mention what you've been writing on lately?
Oh yeah, I've been writing on the new Thundercats.
Yeah, that's
Rad.
so cool. The new Thundercats cartoon. And how's that experience been?
Really good. It's going to be a very silly show, and I enjoy writing that.
Are they still going to have unless you can't answer, they're still going to have the Thundercats, ho?
There will be Thundercats Ho.
Sweet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you
It's just
can't
that,
have-
that just feels
Yeah,
like
it's not going to work without that. Otherwise, what are they going to say? Thundercats, get all over here, dudes.
So the internet is kind of an interesting place because you see these intense, amazing backlashes to any type of stylistic change that happens to an old property.
Yeah.
You saw that happen actually just recently with the new Sonic the Hedgehog poster that was announced because Sonic has like really beefy legs, and it threw everybody off because he looks like a man. And so there's all this backlash and criticism. Something similar happened when the Thundercats was announced because they changed. It was a pretty different stylistic choice than the 80s version. What do you think of that crazy, insane backlash that kind of happened?
I think I work on Muppet Babies for Disney, and we had a little bit of the same kind of element that happened where anytime you do something different, people go nuts. And I think it's just people have their nostalgia. And when you fuck with people's nostalgia, anything that is different, it makes it more difficult for them to accept that any change can also be good. But also, I think they need to go back and watch these old shows.
Yeah.
Because, man, some of them are terrible. They do not hold up. They hold up in our minds and they hold up in the feelings that they gave us. But like sitting down and actually watching the show, it's like, you watch a whole season and let me know what you think of it. Because there's a lot of changes that happen like for the better among all these properties. And I don't think people ever go back and like rewatch these shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, they don't hold up. But what were you going to say, Lesley? Because this amazing backlash that happened. What do you think? Like, what do you make of it?
I kind of wonder how many of the people who are really, really upset about it would watch the show at all.
Right. That's a good point.
Like, I feel like
it's
it's not for them.
Our the old moderator on the show, Rucka Ali, loves to post this clip from. There's a guy named Brian Ferenzi who did a sketch a while ago where he was an MTV exec, and he said he kind of like parodied all those like questions that, "Dear MTV, how come you don't play music anymore?" And he like tears into them. He's like, "Because you're not our fucking demo anymore." People don't tune into MTV to watch that shit. So that's a good point, Lesley. Like these people who are protesting so much about it are probably never going to watch it.
No. I mean, they're extra not going to watch it.
Yeah,
now.
they're especially not.
Yeah. I just use that word because it's a word.
No, I like it.
Okay.
I feel like it's a breath of fresh air when you purge your shittiest elements of a fan base from a property. Then it frees you to actually do your fucking job, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, we should get to the debate because I should mention also at the top of the show, we need to wrap Christina a little bit early. So the debate, we'll
I feel like I also want to just say, we got into the talking about the show, but I segued into being a professional cuddler, and I've sort of become the poster child for it. And I've been on NBC and MTV and written a bunch of articles. And
that's so cool.
Did you also not go to school for that?
I went to school for film, and I went to Columbia University.
So, I mean, I like this learn by doing approach to her career.
Yeah.
Of becoming a sexpert and a professional cuddler.
Yeah, and actress. I got to say, this sounds like I'm blowing sunshine up your ass, but I came to one of your
love
premieres.
sunshine up my ass.
Right.
That's actually one of those fun fetishes.
Yeah. Makes you feel warm.
Yeah.
From the inside. Christina is a great actress. I saw one of your premieres not too long ago, and blew my mind that you had your hand in so many different things. Like, this is so much you're working. I mean, I know that sounds almost but you're working on so many things, and you kind of take for granted when you see somebody really good at one thing that's what they do. That's what they do, right?
You only see, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, there's this other whole dimension to you. We got a super chat from Pavich Babin for $2. He says, I wouldn't peg her for a sexpert. I get it. All right, good one, Pavich. All right, a little bit rusty today, Pavich, but
at first I thought peg her.
Peg her, yeah.
Yeah, you won't peg me.
Yeah.
With a toy.
I get it. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a peg.
Is that
all right?
A peg joke?
It's still workshopping.
How's that for sexpert?
Yeah. Still workshopping that one. I should also mention later on in the show, I'll be playing some voicemail. The voicemail number is at madcastmedia.com. If you click on the best debate, the phone number is at the bottom of every single episode. And also, we have a sponsor back. Welcome back, eLiquid. We'll be doing the plug a little bit later in the show. And we've got some quick news headlines at the tail end of the show. But we should get to the debate this week, which is, are people you give gifts to ungrateful idiots? Lesley is our first-time guest this week. I'm going to give you first stab at the debate. But before we get to that, we got our buzzers back this week. Let's go around. Let's hear everyone's buzzer. Here's mine. Lesley.
Whoa.
And Christina.
Wait.
There
That's
we go.
me.
There's Christina and Ron. Wrong! There it is. If you hear a buzzer from anyone during this debate, that means someone is disagreeing with someone else or we're just chiming in with an interjection. But, Lesley, first stab at the debate. What do you think? Are people you give gifts to ungrateful idiots? Why or why not?
It's one of those some are, some aren't kind of things. Honestly, I am terrible at getting gifts and remembering that I've gotten gifts, so I'm probably in that category. I am an ungrateful douchebag.
So if somebody gives you a gift, you feel just...
I say thank you, but I'm not like a card writer. I mean, what counts as being what counts as being grateful?
Okay, I'll tell you how I know an ungrateful idiot when I give a gift, because I fucking know it. Dated some. If I give them a gift, they just kind of like, shrug. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Wow, that's happened to you?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that's awful.
Right.
I'd be really upset.
What is the purpose of giving the gift? Is it to fill the other person's life with joy and value, or is it to feel good about yourself?
I would say 60% to feel good about me, and then 40% them. I want to feel good.
That's actually way more generous than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, 60% me. It's about me. I want to, because I hate, like, I'm a big fan of getting credit for the good things that I do. I love doing things.
Which I don't think is a bad thing, because then you do more good things.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why should it matter if you want credit from it?
Right.
Because you always talk about this, about how,
Yeah.
like, I did good shit.
Yes.
Praise me.
Praise me. Why can't people just kiss my ass all the time? The thing is,
I enjoyed it when you were doing it for me just a little while ago.
yeah, see?
Yeah.
Sunshine?
That was a great gift. Thank you.
Right, you see? So
True, it does feel good to receive.
It
like,
does.
yeah, just praise.
a little bit
You
of
can.
praise.
It's an
So, like,
easily
you give the
couponable.
gift.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was that, Leslie?
Sunshine up your ass is easily couponable.
It's very couponable. Yeah, but can't return it.
Some people give great gifts in a way that, like, how do you adequately say thank you? You're like, I said thank you. I don't really know how to, like, show how happy I am about this gift.
You know what it is? It's not saying thank you. It's being able to receive a gift well. That's the problem. And that's why I think that some people you give gifts to are ungrateful idiots, is because they don't know how to receive a gift.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like I feel the same way about people when trying to give a compliment. Like I had a friend in college who was a really good singer, and she would sing a lot, and I would always say to her, like, oh my gosh, you have a really nice voice. You're a really good singer. And she would always be like, no, I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
hate
like,
that
"Just
shit.
take a fucking compliment. You're good. Obviously, you're
Yeah.
good at singing.
Yeah.
You're better than all of us at singing. You sing all the
Yep.
time. We all like it.
Yep.
Just fucking deal with it. You're
Yeah.
good at this.
Yeah, learn to take a fucking compliment. It
Yeah.
drives me nuts when people
Yeah.
can't. I learned
Me
this.
too.
I learned this actually through UCB Theater, the theater world kind of associated with Lesley and Ron. And have you done anything
Oh, yeah.
UCB? Oh,
yeah,
Christina
right in
too.
there. Groundlings, too. Yeah, I had
Oh,
a
holy
background
shit.
in doing improv.
Wow.
I was doing stand-up for a while. Someone drugged my birthday cake at a comedy club, so I took a break.
They drugged your birthday cake?
Yeah, isn't that horrible? Sorry,
fuck
that's like a
was-
showstopper, and I
This
just
is
also
insane.
like saying that to everybody.
What comedy club? And also,
Well-
what flavor was the cake?
Yeah.
Well, it was
Roofie.
yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone ate it. Like everybody
Oh,
was
no.
affected by it.
What a fucking... Okay,
It
I
was
gotta
a
hear
comedy
this.
show in downtown LA. It was it was like a. It wasn't like the Comedy Store, which I've performed there also, and a lot of people there were also in the set that was happening downtown. But it's this guy who like everybody knows in the comedy scene, and so they're like, oh, not surprised. I'm like, yeah, but. Like, I just didn't think I'd be the target. I don't know.
In a cake of all places.
I know.
I mean, it almost makes more sense that it's in a cake, because people who do that kind of shit are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that he would do something really stupid.
I was momentarily grateful and then very ungrateful for the birthday cake.
Did they give you the cake, or was it a cake that you had bought?
No, he like brought the cake knowing
God.
it was my birthday.
What a creep.
Yeah.
I know.
And so how did you guys...
have a sweet tooth?
Yeah. How did everyone find out?
Well, people were driving home and started
Jesus.
tripping.
No.
I know. And then I felt myself devolving into like paranoia and sort of seeing triangles in my head. And I said, oh.
So it was drugs, not like date rape drugs.
Right. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh,
no,
thank
yeah,
God.
I think,
All right.
yeah, I
That's
think
even-
it was maybe LSD, but it could have just been THC, but a very high dose of it. I mean, it was strong.
Yeah. Well, look, anytime you put drugs in anything and you don't disclose that to the other person, that's pretty fucking.
It's nice to have a heads
yeah.
up, especially if you're going to be operating heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just know what you're getting into.
And people
Don't
have-
let people drive home like that.
Right. People don't
Why is my
want.
car flying?
Or, if you're sober, you just fuck them up. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're sober, you just fuck them up.
I feel like I derailed. Why did we were talking about comedy and like
Receiving gifts.
Receiving
so you
gifts.
clearly didn't receive that gift well.
I did not sorry,
Bad gift to receiver.
The whole thing of making a cake for you.
Yeah, got a bunch of drugs loaded up with LSD or whatever the hell.
Yeah, so maybe the conversation is, what kind of gift are you getting? Do you deserve to be grateful? I have to say something that came up for me is that I think that I'm a little more harsh on someone I'm dating. Like the bar goes up on expectation of and I feel a little guilty that I think that way.
Do you find when you get gifts, do you want like a physical gift, or would you like be more stoked if they gave you a gift like an experience-based gift where you
Yes.
went out and did something together, or like something like that they went out and bought?
Yes.
You
To both.
to both, yeah. The experience. I've had
All of the above.
I've had very disappointing reactions to both types of gifts, like the ones that are experiences and the ones that are just like physical items, and it's just like it just breaks me. It breaks my heart. I'm
So it
like,
just
I don't
depends
know.
on the person.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I came to an epiphany.
Do you feel like you're a good gift giver in like, of your gift giving history? Do you feel
I
like you
think
nail
so.
it more often than not?
Yes, I put a lot of fucking thought into my gifts. And,
Like,
and,
what's a gift that you're very proud of giving?
okay?
Give us one of the all-stars.
A trip. How about that? A trip, like a trip. Isn't that a fucking
Like a
great
drug
gift?
trip? Yeah.
No, not like a
You're
drug
hitting on
trip.
something really important. I've been dating someone that was like, oh, I'm gonna I'll take you to San Francisco and we'll do all this stuff. And I thought, I don't need to go to San Francisco, but I am like having this issue over here, or there's this thing that I really want, but kind of like don't have the budget for it. Like that. It's sort of this maneuver of like, but you can't really ask for that.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it
Yeah.
be cool if you could? And then you're like, wow, I feel so heard and seen, and like this person's giving me a gift of something I need.
I dated someone one time where the gift I gave was a trip. We went we traveled together. And I remember I put so much thought into it. I wrote kind of like this little booklet about our.
nice.
Yeah, I made like this
really
little booklet with
darling.
it was like rhyming and like real sappy shit. And at the tail end of it, was leading up to how much we like to travel. And the tail end of it was the tickets to where we were traveling. Gave her the gift, and she's like, "So you didn't get me a gift?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking
A,
about?"
man.
And she
oh,
goes, "Well."
that's pretty terrible.
Well, and she goes, "Well, we talked about this like 2 weeks ago." I'm like, "Yeah, because I need to make sure your schedules is clear so that
Wow.
that I could buy this fucking ticket." And she's like, "So I don't get a gift." I'm like, "This is your gift." I'm like, "Well, what does this fucking count for? If it doesn't count as a birthday gift, then can it count as a just because gift? Do I get any fucking credit for this?"
Yeah, as
Are you out of
a
your-
gift.
It sounded like you guys had a really strong relationship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a real solid one.
Did she get you anything?
No, she didn't give me shit.
That sucks.
Oh,
And this-
Well,
God.
this was a birthday gift.
Oh, okay,
though.
I want to
Yeah.
give you a hug here. Maybe we could hold hands for a moment.
We're holding hands. See, that's what we do on the. This is what happened. It's a precursor.
We literally have never done that on this show. There's never been hand holding.
Well, not above the table.
The gifts that I can't stand are the ones where your gift to me is an errand that I got to do.
Oh
What
yes.
does that mean?
I
What
know.
are you
I know.
talking
What
It
the
means like somebody once, as a thank you, is like, "Hey man, I really want to thank you for your help. Here's a poster," and I was like, "Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to spend $40 on a frame for this
Yeah.
poster."
Oh, I got.
Because I'm not going to hang up a poster with like fucking thumbtacks because I'm an adult man. So then I get this $10 poster. And I'm like, oh, let me see how much frames are. And I'm like, $60 for a frame or whatever
Yeah.
bullshit.
For like the beginning of a hobby. Like, I'm going to give you a Pilates DVD so you can start Pilates, even though you've never even considered that.
Yeah,
I've-
start the journey of an expensive commitment.
I've got one worse, and this I literally complained to my friend who gave this gift because it was a shitty fucking gift, and I told him to never do that again. He gave us a beta fish,
Oh.
and I'm
What
like,
is a
"What the
beta
fuck?"
fish?
Dude, thanks for I got to go get infrastructure now.
A beta.
I don't know what that is.
A beta fish. They're those really like pretty fish with like
Oh,
flowing
like an
tail.
actual alive
yeah,
fish.
a live fish, and they are
they basically gave you
have
a
gills
chore.
and you don't want it to
It's a chore.
die.
They're fighting fish, right?
they're fighting fish.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
they're
can't.
so pretty.
They can't get along with any other fish, even of its own species. They'll kill them.
Mm-hmm.
But did you see? There's one. Friends of mine had one where there was a plant above it, and it was like it fed on the roots, and you didn't have to do anything.
Well, I didn't get that kind. I got the cheap kind, where you have to fucking wash its tub every other week.
That's awesome.
So
It's just like as you have this like aquatic prisoner in
Yeah.
your place, and
Yep.
you got to go out and spend like $50 on like
Food.
all the bullshit.
it's a chore. It's a thing I got to keep alive and worry about.
Also, you're going to probably be an asshole to it because the only thing you can really do with the beta fish is poke on the glass and make it angry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
you gotta
much it.
give it forward to someone else.
Yeah,
you gift it forward.
Man, I did kind of inadvertently. So I had to travel one day, and I called my mom. I'm like, hey, can you take care of this beta fish for me while I'm gone for a few days? She goes, yeah, sure.
Did you name it?
I don't. I think it was like just called it garbage. But I hated this fish. I hated it so much. So I went to my mom's house, dropped off the fish, and then came back. And then like a few days after I came back, she calls me. She goes, "Hey, I still got your fish." I'm like, "Okay, I'll come by sometime." And then like a week later, she goes, "Hey, you gonna come by for this fish?" I'm like, "Sure." Then 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. She's like, "What about this fish? I don't want it anymore." And I said, I'll come by." Then one day I called her. I'm like, enough. Like, it's been like a month and a half. I'm like, I should probably go pick up the fish. I called my mom. I'm like, hey, I'm going to come by today and pick up the fish. She goes, it's gone. I'm like, what do you mean it's gone? She goes, I flushed it. I'm like,
Oh my
No.
Yep.
She had the courage to just
Yep. And I was like,
call it what it was.
I was like, how could you do that to a fish?
No one else wanted the fish. She could have even done like a Facebook post to say, does anyone want this fish?
Yeah, I don't know. But I was like, but part of me was also like, thanks.
Yeah. Right. She had the courage to just, that feels
Yeah.
like a mom thing. It's a bit like pulling that tooth that you have as a kid. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, come here, honey. I see a little yank. You know what I mean? One of those.
So, yeah.
Get the job done.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, Lesley, are there any gifts that you've given that you felt like the people really appreciated?
Yeah, actually. I'm actually not a good holiday giver or birthday giver because birthdays I can never remember the date, and holidays I just always get everything like on the 24th.
You're
like,
a
during the day.
great baker, though.
I am a great baker.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to own that. I'm a great baker. So I will give you a birthday cake if you want it. Like, or I'll give you like a
Fantastic.
pie or whatever you want.
Yeah.
I want to see you take a bite of it first.
Yeah,
Make
I mean,
sure it's
I don't
kosher,
have a problem with that. I mean, I'd love to. Well, I got somebody some original art once.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because Linda Berry was selling a bunch of her art on, I think, eBay or something like that. And so I got her, I have a friend who studies spiders, and I got her one which was about, invertebrates.
Whoa, that's cool. She's an entomologist?
She's an arachnologist.
Arachnologist.
Yeah.
That's a very specific. Wow. Huh. That's so. Yeah, I'm really interested in insects too. And one of my friends got me a very thoughtful gift, a huge book of like entomology. It was just insects.
No, it's cool
encyclopedia.
stuff.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool stuff. And at some future point on this show, we're going to be debating what the dumbest insect is.
Okay.
But yeah,
But I
that's a
guess
really thoughtful gift.
Thank you. Well, on the other end, though, my sister and I just kind of gave up. Like one year, for Christmas, we just exchanged $20 bills.
Okay.
Can I say one of the best Christmases my family ever had? I have a big family, 3 older sisters, 1 older brother. We used to get gifts. It was just like getting too much. And then they all had kids. It was getting too much. So one year we just decided to just put a bunch of money into like a kitty and like a little, little pot.
Yeah.
And went to the bar and just spent it all. And you just put in whatever you could, like wherever you. So I was like, I could do $20. So like, okay, we all just put in, went to the bar and spent it till it was out. And it was like the best Christmas. And that was so much more fun than getting like, I don't know, socks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I love doing like that type of stuff. Or
Yeah.
like for my sister's kids, I don't buy them anything. I just take them out to the movies. They don't even ask what. They're like, yeah, we know what your gift is. You're taking us out to the movies. And every Christmas, I just take it out to the movies.
Right.
And it's the best. And because like we already have enough stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This anxiety of like the perfect gift and like shopping. So I'll tell you the epiphany I came to a long time ago. I used to buy a lot of gifts for a lot of friends. I used to spend thousands of dollars on all my friends.
Aww.
And sincerely, like I would put so much thought into it. I'd put so much time into it. I'd spend like a week just agonizing in different stores, going from like Best Buy to Circuit City when that was a thing, and all the different department stores, finding just the right gifts for all my friends, multiple video games and like things that they liked. And then every time I felt like I was giving them to my friends and whoever, I just felt like the response was kind of a shrug. And I felt empty inside. I felt bad inside. And then I decided, I remember the Christmas that this happened too, because I sent an email to all my friends that I usually give gifts to. I said, hey guys, I'm not buying anyone gifts this year. If just throughout the year. Instead, what I'm going to do throughout the year, if I see something that reminds me of you, I'm going to just buy it for you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And I would do that, and it was like so much more thoughtful. And then all the money I saved, I spent on myself. And I felt so much better. Oh, it's great. That's the first year I traveled. That's the first year like I enriched my life with experiences. I met people. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to spend that money on me. Because I really know how to appreciate a gift, especially when I buy for myself. I fucking love it. I'm the best gift receiver and best gift giver. It's a problem that solves itself. And that's why I think that people who receive gifts are ungrateful idiots. And that's that's my argument. Christina?
A memory, I think actually that makes a lot of sense. I was going to say that I buy gifts based on seeing something that inspires me, or a friend's birthday once. I just had this like whim of an idea, and my boyfriend and I like made wings. Like I went and bought like arts and crafts style, and we like brought them to the party and with the suspenders and like put them on her, and she wore these wings all night that were like cool. Homemade. So I think there's something about like homemade, just that feeling of like, I thought of you and had this fun idea. So I like that. I just had this one memory of like a boyfriend who one day, like at the Christmas holiday, his family had come to my family's hometown, and he said, well, we're going to open our presents the night early together. We'll do our presents. And my eyes were wide, and I was like, yeah, we're going to like their presents that we're like exchanging, like what?
Yeah.
And so I like ran, I like called my friend and said, I have to get them presents tomorrow. Like, let's go do it. So I sort of just had to like scrap together. Like, okay, I know that this person likes this. I know this person likes this. And then my boyfriend got really sad after and was like, your presents were better than mine. And he had this weird, like, emotional, like, hangover resentment.
Sounds like you need to step it up then.
Yeah. I was kind of like, well, I just thought about who these people are and got them things that related to them. Like, ugh.
Hey, speaking of presents, we got a super chat in the chat room from Pavich Bavin. It says, Maddox's gift-giving rule. Treat yourself for $2. Thank you, Pavich Bavin. I will treat myself for $2. I really appreciate it. And speaking of gifts, a little bit later in the show, I did get a gift from a fan that I'm going to open up. Yeah, I haven't.
Cool.
Really?
Yes.
I think those might even be like better gifts. Like I've been getting gifts from my clients. Ooh. Like this one gave me this amazing poetry book after like we had talked about it in a session. And I have one client who brings me plants and I love them. And they're like cacti, so they're low maintenance.
Yeah, it's hard to kill a succulent.
A succulent is a great. If you're gonna buy a plant for somebody,
a great gift.
Yeah, get a succulent.
I did actually give back a succulent once because I'm really bad with plants. Like
you gave back the succulent.
Well, I didn't give it back. I gave it to somebody else who had succulents because I mean I just didn't. I had to look up what kind of succulent it was, and I was just like,
because you can literally just put a succulent outside and it's gonna do fine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's the benefit of it.
Yeah.
It's like it's the plant you give to people who aren't into plants because they're so hard to kill.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you could kill them if you overwatered them.
So that person did know you.
I guess.
I like getting plants. And that's the thing. It wasn't just like he thought, oh, I'll just start bringing plants over. It was like, oh, you have this plant. And I said something like, yeah, I was thinking about getting more. And then he was like, brought this plant for me.
Ooh, I got an orchid once from somebody and it was great, except that then I became obsessed with keeping it alive and it died a horrendous death.
Oh, wow.
It was actually somebody I was dating and then we broke up. The plant died 2 weeks later. And then the next time I saw him, he's like, so is it still alive? And I'm like, I'm sorry. No, if you want to see pictures of the last day, I can send them to you. But...
Oh, gosh. What I guess an echo of the relationship.
Yeah,
huh?
Totally.
Terrible.
But you do know that orchids, the bloom falls off and it only comes back once a year.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was just trying to keep...
Because sometimes people think orchids die. I'm like, no, it's still living.
Except they grow stuff on them. They get like funguses and stuff. It had I believe it had either a disease or a virus.
So just like a relationship.
Yeah, just like the relationship.
I should mention too, I forgot to mention this at the top of the show, but we are in amongst greats in this room because Lesley is part of a huge internet meme. I don't know if you've seen that Geico commercial about Hump Day, but our own Lesley was on that commercial, and it became like this huge meme on the internet. Everyone posted it everywhere. Ron's a part of a meme too. Ron's been posted in one.
The Jenga guy meme.
Oh, cool.
The Jenga guy. But I got a clip from Lesley's commercial, if you don't mind. I don't want to put you on the spot, but it's from the Geico commercial. Listen to this.
Lesley, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico?
That clip of Lesley just sitting there so annoyed, being like, okay.
And you know, another fun fact is, since I'm an editor, I am acutely aware of Leslie's entire career because I have edited her acting reel.
That is true.
Oh,
I have seen. I know your Blackish spot. I know all your commercials, and I'm like,
side point, Ron is very good at that.
And,
Ron is great at it.
And
He's
listen,
really,
you
really
give me
good
the
at
tools to work with. I mean, I can make something great.
Yeah.
But no, she does have a very good reel. And
Yeah.
I remember that. I was like, this Hump Day thing's fucking funny.
Yeah.
You know
it
that
blew up.
The guy who does the voice of the camel is on This Is Us.
Is he the crockpot?
What? No. No, he's not.
All right, guys. Well, before we move on, I do need to wrap Christina. Unfortunately, we didn't get you longer for the show, but we'll have you on again for a future episode because we have a lot of...
Christina,
I
real
know.
quick, what's the best gift you've ever received?
Yeah.
A great one was what stands out is it's almost like little things, but I flew to Colombia to see someone that I had fallen in love with, and I arrived. I had I missed my flight, all this stuff. I was up all night and I got to his place and he was like, "Oh, get in bed," and like tucked me in the morning so I could like nap. And like I woke up to him being like, "Look, I made you eggs and like this tomato paste. It's like homemade. I did it." And I was like, "Oh my God." It was like a gourmet meal in bed. And so that felt like a really amazing gift.
That's nice.
And I
really
think,
awesome.
the common theme of like when it's made by someone and they give it to me, I'm like really moved by that.
When thought has resulted in time and energy for you,
Yeah.
it feels good.
Pretty fucking
A lot
great.
better than the bullshit Circuit City gifts.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just spent thousands of hard-earned dollars. I fucking slaved
I
away.
Buy my love. You gotta earn it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't
spit
give a
on your
shit.
expensive gift.
Yeah, whatever. People give me video games and I fucking love it. I get like the biggest boner when I play video games. I love it.
Can we get a little icon for like a sound of spitting? I want to like a
We could.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
We'll get one for you, Christina. next time.
indignant French
my
person.
disdain.
Well,
It's not even close.
well, Christina, we should wrap you. Where can people find you?
I have a Facebook page. It's Christina Hepburn. Instagram, I'm pretty active on there.
Right,
I mean, if you would like to cuddle with me, you can go to cuddlist.com. And the podcast is still live, TNA Talk Sex. You can listen to it on iTunes and Libsyn, I think.
Very well done, and it's got a great sound to it. It's very professionally produced. It sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
But anyway, thank you again, Christina.
Oh,
we'll
bye,
have you
guys.
on.
This
we'll have
was
you on
so
next time.
fun. I love being here. This was a gift.
All right, we should get back to the debate, though. Ron, is there any gift that you particularly got or were disappointed with?
This is weird. I remember the gifts that I've given a lot more than the gifts that I've got.
Yeah.
Can I tell you one that I gave that I thought I knocked out of the park?
Yeah.
What's that?
I was pretty proud of this one. So, my girlfriend, I saved every time we drank a bottle of wine, I saved the cork and I wrote the date on it and what we drank it for, whether it was dinner party or a birthday dinner or something like that. And then at the end of the year, I gave her all the corks and I had kind of dug out the centers and I filled them with tiny little succulents and then I attached magnets to it and so she could put them on her fridge.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I totally stole it from Pinterest. She fucking loved it. No, all the succulents died. and we don't even use them anymore. But she still brings up the fact that I did that. So she'd be like, and it didn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
It just was like, I can't believe you anytime you do something that's like the long game, where you're doing a little activity or saving something and you're constantly thinking about it.
Yeah.
That goes over great. That's
Yeah.
the best gift you can give.
I would disagree with that. And
Hey, just because it didn't fucking work out for you doesn't mean it's bad.
So another time, right? So I thought I'm going to change up my gift giving habits, and I'm going to try the thoughtful route, right? So this girl I was dating one time, I would carry around my cell phone with me with a little note app. And anytime we were in a store, she picked something up and says, "Ooh, I really like this." I'm like, "Why don't you get it?" She goes, "I can't afford it right now." I would make a little note of it and then remember all the little things throughout the year. And then around Christmas time or whatever, I would go and buy all those things all throughout the year. And then I had my list of notes and stuff. When I gave it to her, she goes, "I saw you taking notes." She goes, I knew you were going to do this.
What?
And I'm like, what the
Dude,
fuck?
who the fuck are you dating?
That is, yeah, that's
That's
like
a weird. That's a weird reaction.
Yeah, I've dated some real monsters. Yeah.
I mean, you could have just been taking notes for yourself because you also wanted that thing.
And also, maybe don't say it. Maybe even just
say thank you.
Just say thank you and fucking act surprised. Or maybe don't even act surprised, but just say thank you, and that's very thoughtful. Or just something nice instead of being like, I knew this was coming. You didn't surprise me. You failed me again.
You know what? When you give a gift to someone and they react big and very thankful, you know what happens? I want to give that person gifts in the future.
Yeah.
Like when your gifts are appreciated, it
Right.
makes you want to give something to them because they appreciate it, and that feels good. So if people aren't appreciative, it's like, well, maybe they're not going to get many gifts in the long run.
Yeah.
Now us at this table, we fucking love getting gifts.
Yeah. I'm a good gift receiver. And I'll tell you who isn't. My fucking mom. She's kind of like set the template for like shitty gift receivers. My mom, oh my gosh, could not give her a gift that she wouldn't bitch about. She would find something to bitch about my gifts. I remember one time, when I was a kid, I was fucking, I don't know, 10, and I didn't have any money because I'm a kid. Mm-hmm. And I remember going outside, and I found one day in the street, in the road, like they just painted the reflective whatever, and there was this pile of like this glittering, golden, shimmering like beads or something, and I scooped it up and saved it in a Coke bottle, and it was like one of my prized possessions. I really liked it. Then I remember my mom's birthday came around, and I went and I like washed, cleaned the Coke bottle, whatever, and I put a flower in it with these like glittering golden beads or whatever, and I gave it to my mom. She goes, "What is this, dirt?" And just threw it out. She goes, my own son gave me dirt for my birthday. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to? She goes, I don't know, go to your dad and have him buy me something. I'm like, okay, I guess I fucked up again. And then another year, I remember I bought my mom some perfume, and she says, I hate this scent.
This is quickly turning into the saddest podcast ever.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. Another year, I remember she had a very distinct color for her bathroom, and I found a clock at Target that perfectly matched the color of her bathroom, and I bought her the clock. And she said, that was by far the worst gift I ever gave her. She said, what is this? Are you counting down the days I have left to live? And I'm like, no, it's just a clock. She goes, you never give people clocks. And I'm like, okay.
I mean,
is that a thing?
That is a thing.
I didn't know that.
It's like, well, if you're Chinese, you don't give clocks or knives.
You don't give clocks or knives?
Yeah.
Knives are badass.
No.
How does anything ever get cut? And how do people show up on time for anything?
No, you buy your own knives.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
You
you
know
need
what?
a knife, go buy your knife.
You know what? I bought a bunch of knives last year for Christmas. I put them all on my Amazon wish list, and my girlfriend's family got me all the knives, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They're really good knives, and I love using them.
It's supposed to be bad luck.
Yeah.
No,
just
man,
don't
it's way more good luck to cut with a sharp knife rather than this dull-ass piece of IKEA shit I was using.
Another time, I bought my mom just a card, and I put some cash in it. The card was a little pop-up, like on the the cover is like, oh, the person I care most about in this world, and then you open it up, it's like a little dog pointing at you, and it's like it pops up, and she goes, "What is this? This is the most vulgar thing I've ever seen. It's poking at me," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "And just $20?" I'm like, I don't know what you want. And then
Did you give her shit today for this? Like about how bad she is at gifts?
no, I just don't fucking buy her anything anymore. Like, go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna buy you shit if you complain about my gift year after year after year. Gift cards, like, oh, now I have to go to the store to spend it. I'm like, what the fuck do you want?
Well, yeah. What do you think about gift cards?
I like them.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
they're fine.
Yeah.
Unless it's to a place that is prohibitively expensive.
It's fine, but like there is something to be said. Like the Amazon wishlist thing, even though I got what I wanted, it has taken like the art of gift giving out. Where now it's such a transactional nature. Like Christmas, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. It used to be like the art of gift giving, where you would get something tailored for that person. But what the result is, of course, you get a bunch of shit that you don't want, don't need. I also do not feel bad about getting a gift and then immediately taking it to Goodwill the next day.
Yeah.
If it is not, I used to feel awful. I used to hem and haw. I used to hold on to it for like 6 months to a year. And I'm like, no, if I don't like this gift and I'm not going to use it, other people will. I will immediately take it to Goodwill and I will not feel bad about it. But I'm a psycho about stuff.
Yeah, my favorite gifts are generally ones that I can eat. So as soon as if I get something, I'm immediately going to put it in my mouth.
So any gift is going to be a gift, like hunger gift if you want it
I mean, you
hard
could
enough.
technically eat most things.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I gave you like some, I don't know, I'm just looking at what's in the room, some acoustic foam,
Lesley, I would turn that to poop so fast.
You know what? Fun thing about gift cards: if you get gift cards to a bunch of stores that you don't want, you can actually go online and sell those gift cards for like straight up cash.
That's right. Yeah, there's like this weird secondhand market for it. Smitty in the chat room says gift cards suck. Edlin Martinez says I like a gift card to your store, Maddox. Thank you, Edlin Martinez, and then some whale emojis. Better throw some bombs next to those whales. And then we got one from Pavage Bavin for $5. Very nice. I like this comment. He says, but your mom is the best gift giver because she gave us you. All right. The redeemer.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I am a gift to this world. Yeah. And so my dad is like also a difficult gift receiver because he doesn't want or need anything. I think I got him a mug one time, said like like best dad or some shit like that with like a sergeant bear, because my dad was in the army and there was like a bear with like wearing camo in it. He seemed to like that. And then like occasionally I'll get him a tool or something and he won't use it because my dad came from an era where everything had to be preserved. So he would use something until it's done and then go to the new thing. And that mentality was so ingrained in him because he grew up during the Great Depression. That guy's
fucking spot on.
Yeah, well, that guy's
like
seen
this
some
mentality.
Well, yeah, but it's an extreme because that guy's seen some starvation. I remember to the point where in the orchard that I grew up in, like the apples that fell from the tree, those were the ones he would eat first, and then he would pick the apples from the tree if he was still hungry. So he would pick up apples that were like half rotten on the ground for starting to ferment, and he'd eat the half that's not rotten because he wanted to eat every little, just preserve every ounce of everything he possibly could. So it was a real extreme, I think. It's a Ron Babcock.
I mean, I'm like, yeah, I mean, sounds right. Not wasteful.
No, that just reminded me of like the gift that maybe got the most joy out of my dad from my dad liked the most when we were growing up. I think my sister gave it to him. We went to one of those like Hammacher Schlemmer type stores, and we got him Seymour buns.
What are Seymour buns?
It's like a guy, and you like press hit this little thing and his pants go down.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those things. Where they squirt you too?
No.
Okay.
No, but like it has like an air pump on it that runs it.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I had one of those things where it was like a little boy who had his hands around his waist like he's about to pee, and you can pull his shorts down, and it has a little squirt right where his penis is, and it squirts you in the face. I thought that shit was hilarious. I'd give it to my aunts and uncles. I'm like, pull it down. They're like, we know what it's going to do. I'm like, do it.
I mean, we had it for years. Like, it was on the shelf, and it's just like the maximum hilarity that you could get when you were like 10 or 11 years old, and like it.
Yeah, those things are hilarious. And then I remember my first exposure, I think, to any type of pornography were those little pens that you get in Vegas where you tip them and the ink shows it's the guy or the girl, and the guy just looked like a randy dad. He was just like standing there with a real randy smile on his face, like, hey there. The girl looked sexy, but the dad just looked kind of goofy.
Yeah, it's always a little creepy when it's like the dude.
It's
also, I'm like, I don't want to look at that part of the pen.
Yeah.
I want the other part.
I'm holding this pen up the right way the whole time.
Am I gay now? Shit.
Just put a little bit of tape.
Yeah. So anyway, we should start to wrap up this debate. Any final thoughts? I mean, I really sincerely look. My experience in gift giving clearly has been shit. Shitty gift receivers for friends, shitty gift receiver girlfriends, shitty gift receiver parents. Like I think almost everyone I've ever given a gift to has been a shitty gift receiver, with like one or two exceptions.
I think that this has given me food for thought. I think we put a lot of emphasis on giving gifts, but we don't put a lot of emphasis on how to receive a gift. So this holiday season, I think I'm going to focus more on making sure to be grateful on the gifts I receive, even if I'm not necessarily into them.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, I get some like shitty sweaters.
Because the intention is there.
Sure, the intention is there.
Even if it's like they're trying, man.
Yeah.
I want to foster that and maybe steer them in the right direction. But I also don't like a lot of. I'm the type of person like where people like I'm hard to shop for because it's like I don't want anything. Yeah. Like I'm fine. Like the things I want are like I want a food processor. That's like $160. So that's tough. To like, you can't ask that of any. That's like a big gift. Right. So I'm going to get that myself. But like, I don't know, but I am going to work on being more thankful for the gifts I do receive, and it's all because of you, Maddox.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for thanking me. This is what I like to hear, people thanking me. It's such a great thing.
It is a gift.
You know, here's a little quick aside. I think I mentioned this on the podcast in the past. I'm sure you've heard this, Ron, but like my whole entire Maddox setup, like with the crown and the cape and the regal thing and the throne and everything, that all came from when Hurricane Katrina happened. I decided to do a good thing and try to donate some of the proceeds of my online store towards the Red Cross for the month that it happened, right? And I raised a bunch of money and donated it. And then I wanted to make a big deal out of what a good guy I was. And so I went on for like months afterwards talking about how generous I am. And everyone, I photoshopped myself. There's this picture of a pope, this old painting from like, you know, the 1700s or whatever, where people are waiting in line to kiss his hand. And I photoshopped my face over this pope's face, and he was wearing this like red gown. And I'm like, I'm going to go on a national hand kissing tour. And that was my first book tour. It was a hand kissing tour where people could kiss my hand to thank me for being so philanthropic and generous. And so that's where, and then I bought the crown and the cape, and I went around kind of like parading about what a good deed I did. And that's where the whole Maddox, like, you know, king crown thing came from.
Damn. And did people kiss your hand?
Yeah.
Yes, a few, and I asked them generally not to, but a few people did, because that was also one of my rules, is they couldn't make eye contact with me.
Did they did you use Purell or anything in between, or did you just like handle it?
Yeah, a few of them are real like wet kissers. I'm like, oh gosh. It was like that Fight Club thing where, you know, Brad Pitt like kissed what's his name, Edward Norton's hand, and then he poured lye on it. Well, they didn't pour lye on it, but I felt the place where they would kiss sometimes, and it was like a very wet kiss, and I'm like, oh,
fuck.
Yeah.
A little creepy.
Yeah, and I looked down, I'm like, I can like, I met some real weird fans too on this like hand kissing book tour or whatever.
Yeah, I bet, man. You
There's
called it a hand kissing tour. You're gonna bring people out of the woodwork.
I had a dress code. You had to wear a suit and tie or lumberjack uniform.
Okay.
And a lot of people did. And then I told people to stand at the closest they could stand to me is 5 to 10 feet and not make direct eye contact. They could bow, not say anything, turn around and leave. And that was like the rules. And then if people wanted to take photos with me, my only rule was if it's an iPhone, you have to Photoshop me out of the picture when you get home. So yeah, I had all these rules. It was a really fun tour, and a lot of people followed the rules.
Wow,
it was hilarious. Some people just bowed and left.
That's awesome.
Without saying anything. Anyway, we should wrap this up. But before we do, speaking of gifts,
Ooh.
I have a package from a fan. This looks like a giant. So I'm holding this up on camera. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, I'm holding this up on camera. It looks like a giant bag, and it's wrapped really nicely. And there's a note in here. It says, Maddox, this will probably arrive first, but it's a backup gift just in case the main one sucks. Either way, enjoy and Merry Christmas. Can't wait to see more great content next year from Angela. Holy shit.
Huh.
So this is not even, she sent 2 gifts apparently. This is the one I got. I don't
That was a backup gift in case the first one doesn't work.
Right?
What does that mean?
What a thoughtful gift. I mean, that clearly means that she probably sent 2 gifts.
Drone,
I don't have...
drone.
Oh my gosh, if it's a drone or any type of weapon, this is going to be so badass. But what a thoughtful... I love how the fans send in gifts to the show around this time. Okay, so I'm opening up the bag. Oh my god, this is hot sauce. Holy shit. It's Fuego hot sauce. It's called the Good Hurt Fuego hot sauce.
Oh, nice.
And looks like there's a bunch of different kinds in here. They have ghost pepper. Oh man, ghost pepper is the hottest. I love that shit. Whiskey habanero, garlic herb, garlic pepper, chipotle pepper, cayenne pepper, and smoky bourbon. Holy shit,
sweet.
It looks like dynamite.
Oh, that's really cool.
Look at that shit. It's not only something I can eat, but it's also a weapon.
Yeah.
Ron is holding this up on camera. Guys, check this out on the website, madcastmedia.com, or on YouTube. Holy shit, thank you, Angela. What a fucking thoughtful gift. This is so cool.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I love
awesome.
the packaging on it.
The
It's pretty
packaging
insane.
is fantastic. This is the
I
best.
don't even want to use it.
I
Yeah.
know, right? This thing looks amazing. Fuego, the Good Hurt hot sauce. And they all look like dynamite. Oh, I'm so happy about this. Wow, what a
Nice.
cool gift.
Really cool gift.
Thank you, Angela. We have the most thoughtful fans on the show. I really, really appreciate it, guys. You guys are badass. Alex M in the chat room says, ooh, some TNT for your anus. Pretty much. It's a very thoughtful gift. I love hot sauce. But speaking of liquids, today's episode is brought to you by eliquid.com. Guys, thank you to eLiquid for sponsoring this episode. For 20% off your first purchase, visit eliquid.com/madcast30 and use the promo code MADCAST30 during checkout. Now, the promo code has changed. Make sure to use MADCAST30 for this checkout. Guys, it's the perfect time to check out eliquid.com for all your liquids, your DIY vape accessories and supplies. They have so many items. As we always like to say,
Maddox, how many items do they have?
over 44,000 items in stock.
Wow, 44,000? That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot.
You know what I like about ordering online, especially from websites like eLiquid, is that you can order this from your couch. And I always make the argument that if you order something online, it's a little bit better than even going to the store, because if you leave your door unlocked, when the delivery guy comes and knocks, if you yell loud enough and tell them to come inside your house, and I'm not recommending anyone do this, I'm just saying you could, and I may have. They can bring it to you on the couch. You can get your vape liquids and accessories brought right to your door, right to your couch, and you don't even have to stand up. How
And with
cool is that?
44,000 items to choose from, certainly have a lot of options.
Most items ship by 2 p.m. I think you still have time. By the time you hear this episode, you might still have time to get your items before Christmas. It's a great place to go. Get those last-minute things. Look, I got a lot of friends who vape. Our old audio engineer, Mikey Bolt's on this show.
Everybody we know lives that vape life.
Yeah. Check this out, Lesley.
All right.
Now, for those of you who can't see because you're just listening to the podcast, I just blew a big fat vape cloud. How
did.
impressive is that, Lesley?
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and she wouldn't lie.
And you know what I like about 44,000 items? A lot of people think it's too many. But you know what?
It's not.
Is it just
It's
the right amount?
Just
It's
the
just the right amount.
Okay.
Wow, Lesley gets it.
Guys, they have hardware tanks, coils, atomizers, batteries, vape accessories, and I'm finally getting to the point where I understand what the necessity is for some of those items, because as I'm using this thing, I have the V8 Big Baby Beast. It's finally getting to the point where I'm having to replace some of these items and coils. And you know what? In addition to just vaping itself, it's a lot of fun to just get in there and it's almost like the joy you get from fixing your car or your computer. You swap out a part and it works better. It works like it's supposed to. It feels good. It feels like you did something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
Totally get that feeling.
That's the first thing you put on your to-do list to make yourself feel better about the day.
Fix vape.
Fix vape.
Yeah.
You know what, though? It feels like an accomplishment. Because how often do you have a little thing that breaks or stops working the way it's supposed to, and you're able to fix it? Never.
Yeah. I mean, they're like stuff is designed so we just have to buy it brand new when it sucks because that thing is like 99% still working. It's just like one faulty relay switch needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
So you either just like live with it, or yeah.
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 Or you go to eliquid.com and use the promo code MADCAST30. Again, guys, Madcast listeners get 20% off your first purchase. Visit eliquid.com/MADCAST30. Really big thanks to eLiquid. They've been a big supporter of the show, and we're a big supporter of them. I love these guys. The website's amazing. You can do it. They have a mobile version that looks fantastic, too. It's super easy to order, and there's free shipping with no minimum order, which is fantastic because a lot of websites try to get you with like free shipping, but you got to
Yeah,
spend,
you got to spend like
$50.
$70 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all shipped directly to your couch.
Directly to, possibly to your couch.
Yeah.
But again, thank you to eliquid.com, and thank you all for supporting us and for supporting eLiquid because it really helps out the show. But we should get to a summary of last week's debate. Last week we debated, is the internet becoming more full of dipshits? Lesley, what would you say?
Yes.
Okay, that is correct. I'm going to agree with that. But we put the vote to the audience test. And with 84% of the vote, the audience said yes. Congratulations. This is probably the first time in Madcast media history that the audience has gotten it right, other than the other times. And then last week, we had our guest on. It was Chad Kulchin. And Chad, here's a little secret about Chad and I. We're both big Pokemon trainers, all right? We don't play, we train. So we got here. One of the other questions I asked the audience is Pokemon Go still cool? And the choices were yes or still. And with 79% of the vote, still?
Yes!
It's not funny. Stop laughing. Everyone stop. I'm going to edit these laughs out of this
Oh
episode.
man, you know we have a lot more in common than I originally thought. Listening audience, so that really made me happy. That's a good
you're
one.
pretty happy about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, well, let's why don't you keep that happiness cheer going, Ron? Let's hear your Babcock tip. What do you got for us?
All right, here is the final in a financial series of the 5-part Babcock tip. This is the final one, and
He's been great, by the way. Thank you, Ron.
And well, they're a lot of fun, and it's all about investing, Lesley, in the stock market. I'm trying to give people like just the basics, which is basically first things first. You got to track your spending.
Yeah.
You got to measure stuff. If you're going to invest, I would recommend doing a low-cost index fund. I talked a little bit about buckets last week that you could put it into, like a Roth IRA or SEP IRA. But this is the big thing. And a lot of the stuff I know is a lot, and I encourage you guys to continue to educate yourself. Big thing is read The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. It's a great explainer of everything. I'd say if you decide to go down this road, you have to go through a long-term lens. So you got to be a long-term investor, which means you have to invest for 20 years. So the money you're putting into it, you're not going to be taking out in like 3 years because your transmission went. This is money that you're going to be putting away. And the best thing that you can do is you could just automate it. That's it. Don't try and time the market. Don't be holding on to $1,000 and be like, well, I'm going to wait for the market to go real low. And then just set it, automatic withdrawal from your checking and just automate it. What I do is I get paid on a Thursday. Every Friday after I get paid, I have a percentage taken out of my checking account and put into my investments. I don't even know what the market is doing that day. I'm not trying to time the market. I'm not buying individual stocks. I'm not fucking with any of that shit. I am just have it on a set it and forget it automated feature. So it automates and I don't have to worry about it. And once you get into that habit, you're not going to miss that money. Because you just structure your life around not having that money, and that money goes to work making you money. And it's not going to make you money in the first 5 years, but in 20 years, you are going to be so thankful that you did that. So I say when you get started, take a look at your paycheck. How much you get paid? Let's say you get paid $500 a week, right? Okay, every 2 weeks you get a check. Take 1% of your paycheck. Put that into your investments. When you feel comfortable with that, bump it up to 2%. You get a raise, hey, fucking go crazy. Bump it up to 5%. Keep bumping it up over time. And the more you put in, the more that money is going to make for you. To end, I just want to say this. I was doing a lot of research, and I came across a quote that I thought was really interesting. Here it is. The odds of realizing a positive stock return are 100% over any 20-year period during that time frame. So let me repeat that. Stocks have never seen a loss over any 20-year time period from 1926 to 2015.
Are you talking about index funds or an individual
Just the stock market. Just the entire stock market has always gone up over a 20-year period. So, okay, what about shorter intervals? How about like 10 years? You would get a sobering 94% of the time there was a gain.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is this is a great way to accumulate wealth. You just have to go about it in the smart way. That is 1, measuring your spending. 2, doing a low-cost index fund. 3, not worrying about any of the bullshit like picking individual stocks or trying to time the market. Just do an automation feature. Next week, we'll have something more fun, like how to make your own deodorant or something like that. But that's the Babcock tip. Hope you guys enjoy.
Very cool. Thank you, Ron. And that's the Ron Popeil method of investment, which is set it and forget it. I don't know if you guys remember those old Ron Popeil infomercials with the rotisserie. What was that thing? The rotisserie thing?
I invest like I cook my rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, set it and forget it. But we should get to some voicemail. I got a ton of voicemail this week. We got one. So a couple episodes ago, Lesley, we debated what the biggest shithole in America is. What's the shittiest city? And we got a bunch of people calling in to chime in with their selections. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. I just wanted to say I'm a little pissed at Beaver, Oregon, or Beaver, Utah, excuse me. I mean, Beaver, Oregon's a shithole, too. But anyway, I think that it's a little bullshit that Beaver won. But I want to put in an honorable mention for shittiest city is Fairbanks, Alaska. I've lived here for a long time, and there's fucking tweakers everywhere. It's a remote shithole. You're in the negative temperatures in utter darkness for 6 months out of the year. And you know one thing it has that no other city has? No means of escape. Any other city you're in, you can drive for like an hour or two and be in a better city. And that doesn't happen in Fairbanks. If you want to get to Anchorage, it's a 4 to 6 hour drive if you're really gunning it. So can we please put in an honorable mention for this shithole? Thanks. Fucking Nazi.
Yeah, holy shit, that does sound...
Dude,
It's convincing.
yeah, that's an absolutely convincing. I once did a college. I think it was up in Juneau. I remember it's you couldn't. I was planning on renting a car and driving around, and I told the dude who brought me up there. He's like, "Yeah, you can't really do that." And I'm like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, there's no roads out. Like the only way in is by plane or by a boat. Like it's just there's no roads out." And because of that, I went out and got breakfast there. I got like eggs, bacon, cup of coffee, $20.
Wow.
It was because everything needs to be shipped in,
Of course.
or via plane. So everything is. You get the small town.
Yeah.
Most people live in a small town because it's cheap. Everything's expensive.
Why, towns like that, I have sympathy for when cities have natural disasters that destroy them. But with cities like Fairbanks, Alaska, and Dubai, like, those cities stand in defiance of God's will. They are man's arrogance being flaunted. You're not supposed to live there. And the first hint is everything is dead or dying when you go outside.
Yeah.
In Dubai, I went to Dubai a long time ago. It's like a fucking 120 degrees outside, and they have the Mall of Dubai, which has a snowboard and skiing rink in there. You can go skiing. I did. I went snowboarding in Dubai. It was fucking crazy. And you realize, literally, every drop of oil that we buy in America is converted to a snowflake in Dubai. And it's just, as soon as I looked at the place, I'm like, oh yeah, this city's not sticking around. There's no fucking way. This is going to sink right back into the sand. And it sounds like Fairbanks, Alaska, too. If it's going to take you 4 to 6 hours of your booking it to get to the next nearest city, by the way, that's assuming that the roads are clear. If you don't have a horrendous blizzard, and I'm pretty sure they're not maintaining those roads as frequently as like a big metropolis either. That does sound horrible. We got another voicemail. So, Ron, a couple episodes back, you had the Babcock tip was donating blood.
Yep.
And you said one of the benefits was getting drunk faster. Well, someone tried that. Listen to this.
Oh, no.
Hey, Madcast people. So, a few episodes ago, you guys were talking about donating blood and then drinking some beer and, getting drunker a lot quicker. Well, I donated some blood and I went out and got a Voodoo Ranger IPA. It's a 7% by volume. Normally it takes about 2, maybe 3 to get me feeling a little buzzed, but I've only had 1 and I'm already feeling like I've had 3.
All right.
So that was a good tip, guys. Thanks. Love the show.
Hey.
Nazi.
How about that?
Really worried someone's going to be like,
Yeah.
fucked me up.
I'm calling you from the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I told you. It worked. I'm not saying do it, but it does work.
Lose blood, save money on alcohol. That's how you do it. And then I talked about the Houston. Houston was my big shithole in America a couple episodes ago, and I talked about the giant car that everyone drives out there. It's like the Ford Excursion or something. Well, anyway, we got a correction. He's gonna get me on this too.
Hey, Maddox, just so you can clear your mind of it, the giant fucking Ford you're thinking of is the Excursion. Those things are fucking monstrosities, and yeah, it does seem like everybody in Houston has one. So yeah, the Ford Excursion. Fucking Nazi.
Excursion. What an appropriately named car, because that's exactly what it is. It's an excursion. That's like the car equivalence of Fairbanks, Alaska.
Yeah.
There's just so much car, man. It's like you're just driving real estate.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Some people are like, but I don't understand why people have a big car and they use it like maybe twice a year.
Well, what are you
gonna... they move a couch once.
Yeah.
Or they like there's so many, like 90% of the people who have that car don't need that car. Like you could fit your groceries into a smaller car. It's fine.
I remember the lady who drove me around. This was like on book tour, so I went to Houston, and this lady's pulls up in a Ford Excursion in a long line of other Ford Excursions, because that's what everyone fucking drives in Houston. And she's this tiny little old lady where you wouldn't expect her to need that much car. And she's like, well, I just feel safer in it.
Yeah, it's always they want big cars to feel safe.
Yeah.
That's always it. Yeah.
Great. Oh, I'm glad you feel safe. Here's another. So we talked about hardcore bands and how I dated a girl for a hot minute who got me really into hardcore. And we're talking about the names of the bands. They all sound like really aggressive, really dark, like Undiscovered Holocaust was I think one we.
It was Unseen Holocaust.
Unseen Holocaust.
Yeah.
Right.
Prophecy of Deception.
Yeah.
Burial Ground.
Toxic Sludge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's a voicemail about that.
Hey, Maddox. I was listening to the episode about dipshits, and I heard the term boiling blood. And for a second, I thought that was the next single from Undiscovered Holocaust. All right. Fucking Nazi with a horse dick. Later.
Ooh,
I like undiscovered Holocaust.
undiscovered Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's coming.
It's coming.
But you don't know about it.
I bet people. Well, that's something you'd be surprised to find.
Yeah.
A Holocaust, because apparently my gifts aren't surprising people. You'd definitely be surprised more, I think, at discovering a Holocaust over the beginning.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with that.
That was
Yeah,
a long pause.
Yeah. I was doing the math here. I'm like, what am I saying? What exactly am I saying here? So we got another voicemail too. Last week we talked about spoiling Santa Claus. Well, this is interesting. One of our callers called in to point out that there is some psychological benefit to exposing Santa Claus to kids. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. So you were asking Ron, I think, was asking what the benefit of the lie about Santa Claus is. Psychologists have said that it can be beneficial to tell your kids about Santa Claus and then later reveal to them that there's no such thing, because it can teach your kids that, hey, adults can be full of shit and my parents can lie to me. So it can fill children with healthy skepticism about any source, no matter how trustworthy it may have seemed. So keep doing the Lord's work there, Maddox, and go ahead and tell kids that Santa's not real. You're actually helping them quite a bit. Fucking Nazi.
Yeah. How about that?
I kind of like that.
Mhm.
That's a good point. I think
That's right.
a skepticism is always good.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like, does it have to be the parents? Like, I don't know. I feel you could farm that out to somebody else and sort of make the same point.
Well, like a drunk uncle.
Yeah.
I could be that uncle.
Yeah.
I am that uncle.
Or just, you could say like, oh, look at all these people lining up to see Santa. By the way, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was exposed to that very early on. Like, I think maybe like 6 years old when my mom really spoiled that for me. But I learned that lesson of not trusting authorities or parents very early on. Beyond just that, I remember I was standing at a reservoir a long time ago. My parents were, we went out someplace and there was like a little reservoir and there were a bunch of kids jumping in the water playing with it. And I'm just standing by the edge watching. I was wearing jeans. I wasn't wearing a swimsuit or anything. Suddenly, my dad just grabs me and throws me in. And I didn't know how to swim. He threw me in pretty fucking far, like much further than any of the kids could jump. And I just started to drown. And some of the other younger adolescent kids had to come out and save me, and they dragged me over to the shore. And my dad just like laughing. He's like, you got to learn.
Jesus H, man, your family sounds like a basket of peaches.
Yeah. That's how. And I remember telling people that as an adult, and they're like, "Yeah, that's how you learn." I'm like, I guess. What am I learning? Is that really how you learn?
I don't think that's how you learn.
I don't think so either.
Usually, you hold on to the side and learn just how to kick.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Or like even just getting thrown in a. You thrown in a lake or something? Or
Yeah, it was like a reservoir.
Yeah, usually be like in a pool in the context of you need to learn to swim, not just like, hey, by the way, here's a body of water and you're not even dressed for it.
Nope. I just swallowed a whole bunch of muddy water. I could have got one of those fucking brain parasites or something.
That would have showed him.
Yeah. We got another voicemail about the biggest shithole in America. Another contender, runner-up.
Hey, Maddox. So I heard you guys were talking about the shittiest towns in America. Well, I have one for you. It's called Kankakee, Illinois, suburb of Chicago, and it's an absolute shithole. Oh my god. Everything's either run down as shit, or like they have some new shit, like Best Buy or like a Target or shit. But it's like way out of the way, and it's just like kind of like overdeveloped, if you know what I mean? Like as a requirement to live there, you have to have like a heroin addiction. Like, it's a shithole. So yeah.
Hey, there you go. Another city where you feel like you have to have a heroin addiction to live.
But it's close to Chicago.
I guess, yeah.
So
there's
the
like-
rent's probably cheaper.
It's like
Yeah.
a suburb of Chicago, so you're close to cool shit. I'm not saying it's not shitty, but I'm just saying like it's a lot more shitty when we don't have any options close by.
What was it called? Wanky, Illinois or something?
Like Fairbanks is like there's no if Fairbanks isn't just outside of Chicago. If it was,
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
kind of
true.
awesome actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so I'm gonna get with Fairbanks before this plays for sure.
Yeah. Well, guys, we got a ton of voicemail. I listened to all the voicemail. I don't have time to play everything, but keep those coming in. And sometimes I'll play, if I don't have time this week, sometimes I'll play them on the next episode. But again, the website is madcastmedia.com. Click on the best debate. Go to any page at the very bottom. You'll see the voicemail number. Leave those in. I'll be listening to those, and we'll play them on the next episode. Now, Ron, you're not going to be on the next episode because you're going to be...
I'm going to be home celebrating the holidays with my family.
That's right. So we're probably going to do something special for next week's episode. We might do...
Oh, something special when I'm not here. That sounds great. Yeah, I hope you have a great episode.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like maybe hand out crisp 50s to everyone in the room in the studio. Yeah,
okay,
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe something...
You could Venmo me a crisp Venmo.
Yeah, you got to be here. Sorry. And then, maybe like a big Korean barbecue grill right in the middle of the table.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this the week I'm gone? That sounds awesome.
It just coincides with when you're gone, Ron. I don't know what to say.
Fuck.
But I want to do something special. Guys, send in your favorite clips from the show. Send in your best voicemails. If you guys send any gifts, if you can get them to us before we record next time, I think it's the 22nd we'll be recording the next week's episode.
I wouldn't know. I'm not going to be here. I'll be celebrating with my family.
Ron will not be here. But yeah, I think it's on the 22nd. So if you get us anything before the 22nd, we'll be able to open it on the show.
And if you don't have money to get us anything, that's totally okay. You could also just go for entertainment to your local library, where there's plenty of free things that you can do and use, and make sure there's movies, not just books, like Maddox's books, but other people's books. Everybody's books are there.
Douchebag of the week.
I didn't have a douchebag of the week yet, Ron. Congratulations. Someone in the chat room, Damon Noir, says, the next Babcock tip, don't have a family because you miss good stuff with Maddox. I agree with that. Amen to that. All right. Well, guys, now it's time for some quick news headlines. We got some fun ones. Someone made a $500 brownie covered in gold. Of course. This shit, they always do this shit. And it's a really expensive something or other. And it's only expensive because you dipped it in gold. Like, yeah.
Like how much gold?
The whole thing, I looked at this.
Like what thickness? Because people use gold foil.
It's gold foil.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got to eat it. And then that still can't be good for you.
No.
It just seems like such a money-pissing contest.
Yeah.
You know?
And I've had it before. I went to a sushi place in Vegas. I was in Vegas for New Year's Eve one year. And I went to this place, and it was like, a prefixed course. Is that how you pronounce it? Prefix or prefi? Is that how you pronounce it?
However you're doing it is wrong.
Whatever. To this place, and it was like a 5-course meal. The first course was sushi. Second course was like some steak something or other, which was among the top 5 steaks I've ever had in my life. But anyway.
But how was the gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sushi, it was just like normal sushi with gold flakes on top. I'm like,
it doesn't taste like anything. It's just a status symbol.
Yeah.
It's completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
It is just such a vapid expression.
Right.
And it's like, great, gold foil, good for you.
Awesome.
That's why rich people shouldn't be allowed to have money, because they spend it on dumbass shit.
Yeah. It didn't even add anything. What's that weird shit they put on like ramen and like Japanese soups and stuff?
Oh, furiyaki?
Yeah, furiyaki. Yeah.
I love
furiyaki.
it. So
because
good.
it looks like it's alive. Right? If gold foil at least did something,
yeah,
like furiyaki. And by the way, this was a long time ago. This was before Instagram, so I didn't even have a picture of this shit. Mm-hmm. I didn't even. I couldn't even like do that stupid thing where I'm bragging about some bullshit food with gold foil on it.
It's just dumb. It's like one of those dumb Instagrammable moments that like accomplishes nothing.
Yeah.
It's like it's only like a brownie isn't even a centerpiece dessert. It's a brownie.
Yeah.
Like you can put ice cream on it, but still, that's just like I put ice cream on it at home.
And by the way, when I saw the picture of this thing, I thought it looked dumpy. It looked like a pound cake because it was all gold. You couldn't even see the brown. It was all gold. The entire thing was covered in gold. So it says here, how much would you pay for a brownie? Chef Jason Harley, owner of Baby J's Burgers, has one you can buy for $500. In 2016, Harley debuted his $100 donut covered in 24-karat gold at his donut shop, Birdie's, in downtown L.A. What a garbage, shitty, stupid dessert, a gold-covered donut.
Yeah, that's lame.
Yeah. What makes this brownie so expensive? It's made with Johnny Walker Blue Label glaze and covered in gold leaf.
Ugh.
It's also...
John, you cook the alcohol out of the... Anyway, It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. The glaze. I get the underlying flavor of the...
You don't need a
Walker.
glaze on a brownie. That's dumb.
No, yeah, what the fuck? It's not a donut, idiot. We're so angry at this guy. It's also served in a humidor with a Monte Cristo cigar on the side. What the fuck is this?
It just sounds like a fucking edible fedora. It's like everything I hate.
Yeah. The Venn diagram intersection of like people who like brownies and cigars is a zero intersection. There's nothing. Mm-hmm. Do you see that politician in the news recently who doesn't know how Venn diagrams work?
No.
He was trying to make the point that like two different administrations are exactly the same. And so he listed one in one circle and then the other one in another circle, and he put the exact same traits of them. And then the intersection is like, they're exactly the same. And so the guy clearly doesn't understand how intersections work, how Venn diagrams work. He just thought that was like a cool graphical presentation, and he was so proud of it because he clearly spent a lot of time and money on this because he printed it out. It's full color and everything.
Just a fan of circles.
No one at Kinko's was like, this isn't how this works, sir. But, okay.
No, I think it's kind of hilarious when they do that. Albino Lime in the chat room says $150 glaze, $50 gold, $2.50 brownie mix equals $750 brownie and a $3,000 tray. All right, we should get to the next story. This story is fucking crazy. Listen to the headline, and I'm telling you, this is not clickbait. This is one of those few times when you read an outrageous headline and it lives up to the reputation. Priest from hell violently baptizes screaming baby girl while shouting, "Satan sits inside you." Now, I'm going to link to this. It's at the sun.co.uk, and the video of this thing does not, like, the headline doesn't even do it justice. This priest is, like, slamming this kid's head into the baptism bowl, and the kid looks like he's involuntarily headbanging. It is so violent.
Jesus Christ.
Is this, like, from the South or something?
No, this is, like, in Russia. I think it was in Russia or Greece somewhere. Yeah, no, it's Russia. His name is Semilatov. Yeah, Russian priest is to face a church court after a horrific video emerged of him violently baptizing a terrified 2-year-old girl. I have a clip of this baptism, and even the audio is horrifying. Listen to this. It is so fucking violent, and every time you hear that splash too, that's the sound of a 2-year-old's face crashing against water.
It's like Catholic Grizzly Man.
Yeah, it says here that he could be struck off after he was seen roughly forcing the naked child's head underwater in the front 3 times and said, "Satan sits inside her." How? First of all, how would you even know? It's a 2-year-old kid. What is Satan?
I think the idea is that until you're baptized, you have original sin still on your soul,
is that
and
what
the
it is?
baptism cleanses it.
Huh.
You wouldn't know that, though, because Satan sits inside of you.
I got baptized as fuck, Ron. Baptized every fucking day.
It's just washing your face. No, man, I'm baptizing myself.
The girls heard screaming in terror, but watching adults did not intervene, and there was even laughter among those standing nearby. Yeah, that was the
That's
laughter.
fucking Russia, man.
Yeah, Russia's pretty rough. I had a friend who went to Russia one time, a screenwriter, and she told me how she went to a restaurant where she was sitting down with just like a bunch of mafia types, like Russian mafia types, and they're just throwing around money and vodka, and everyone's doing shot after shot after shot, and they keep handing her shots, and finally she's like, "I'm good," and he goes, "The drink," and she goes, "No, I'm full, I'm doing all right." She goes, "You will drink," and he takes out a pistol from his jacket and puts it on the table, and the place gets really quiet. She reaches over and takes the shot. She goes, "Okay, I'll do it." She takes the shot and sets down the shot glass. And then the entire room just bursts in laughter, like, "Ah, we got you!" Like, real Russian sense of humor.
You know what would be sweet if she picked up his pistol and he put on the table was like, "You drink."
Everyone just takes more and more pistols out.
Yeah.
It sounds like a very Russian story. I also had a friend who my friend's dad went to Russia and was on a train. And this is like an entire racket with the trains in Russia, I guess. But they started pumping some gas into all the cars. And all the passengers passed out. They went around and robbed them.
Whoa.
And took all their belongings except for their passports. They're not monsters. Mm-hmm. And and then when they came to, they were like, "All right, well, here's your stop."
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Yeah, who are you going to report to? If the cops are in on it, if the train conductor's in on it, who are you going to report that to?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, pretty nuts over in Russia. I still want to go. The girls heard screaming in terror, but watching adults did not intervene. There were claims that the priest had twice struck the girl's head on the front during the extreme baptism, but these were denied by the church and the girl's mother. By the way, they have a picture of this
extreme
priest.
Baptism.
Yeah, they have a picture of this guy, too, and he looks creepy as fuck. Like, Satan sits inside somebody for sure. The mother admitted the girl cried because she was scared of the priest. Yeah, no shit. Everyone was scared of this priest.
Yeah, that's why they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of I mean, it is his house, you know, like, I mean, it's, I don't know.
Although the parents did not register a complaint, the mother has said she was grateful to the priest for baptizing her daughter. A worried woman parishioner, Lilia Reznikova, said that the priest had told her that children, other than newborn babies, must be broken during the baptism ritual because Satan is sitting inside them. Huh. Well, I think he broke this.
I gotta tell you, this Satan guy sure gets around.
Yeah. Creeping on all the kids. We got a super chat from Pavich Bavin for $2. Says, just a heads up, in Russia, the Pokemon catch you. Pavich, we like that one. That's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Pretty on fire. Thank you for all the super chats, guys. Well, we should be wrapping this up. Leslie, where can people find you?
They can find me at my website, which is sporadically updated at lesleytsina.com. It's LesleyTsina. You can find me on Instagram. It's mostly pictures of pie and cats, but, you know, if you like that, that's fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Leslie is such a funny comedian. We've both known her for a long time, Ron and I.
Oh,
and
I forgot. And I have a book.
Yes. Yeah, what's your book?
My book is Restart Me Up, the unauthorized, inaccurate oral history of Windows 95.
That's right. Which I contributed to.
Yeah, yeah. You helped me with a programming question.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can get that on Amazon as an ebook, and if you want a print copy, you should just contact me through my website.
Now, didn't this like show up on the radar of Microsoft or Bill Gates or something like that?
You know, I don't know, but we did, not officially, we did have a guy from Microsoft come to do a panel with us at Emerald City Comic Con.
And why did you decide Windows 95 of all subject matters?
It's just I just feel like that's the funniest operating system that they did. I mean, just like the name of it is. I mean, like maybe not as a hilarious operating system in the way that it operated. I mean, that would probably be.
Windows ME was pretty bad, or 98, 90. Vista's a real piece of shit. But 95, I used 95 way past its expiration, and XP as well. And by the way, 95, everyone kind of gave me shit for how long I used Windows 95. But near the end, everyone's like, oh man, it's probably, your computer's probably crashing all the time. You're getting viruses and shit. I'm like, no, because you can't run viruses on Windows 95. They're not programmed for it. So, but Windows 95, I didn't have to have a virus checker because the operating system couldn't run modern viruses. And it was very stable because by the time they stopped updating Windows 95, they released so many patches for it that the operating system ran very smoothly. So that was my operating system of choice for years until I switched to XP.
I think I quote you as saying that as one of the random people in the book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like a guy in line waiting to get it at midnight.
Yeah.
At like a Circuit City or something like that.
I didn't like the operating system when it first came out, and I still think most Windows operating systems are kind of garbage, but I like to use the software that gets my job done quickest. Whoa, here's a little tidbit. I still use Microsoft Office 2000. I'm using, 18-year-old software, almost 19, 20-year-old software now at this point, and it still works. And it works better than every version I've tried today. Because those old programs, which you paid good money for, you own that software, and you should be able to use it for as long as you want.
Yeah, no subscriptions. And
there's a few patches you have to install, but it still works. And it works so much better because they are optimized for older computers and older processors. So if they're optimized for a much slower processor, well, guess what? When you launch it on a modern processor, it's going to load lightning quick. And they don't have that bullshit ribbon system that Microsoft introduced into every fucking application where you have to hunt like hieroglyphs to figure out what the fuck you're doing. Everything's a logical, alphabetical order. If you want to go to format, you hit the format heading, and then you just look down and see how you want to format shit. It's fantastic. Ron, you would love this shit.
I probably would. Yeah, I don't know the ribbon thing you're talking about.
Oh, it's basically every piece of software today, like PDF readers and Microsoft Office. Instead of having the menu that you pull down and it shows everything in alphabetical order, it has little pictures of like cut and paste and print and
little icon thingies.
Yeah, little icons everywhere. Yeah. Garbage. Hate it so much. Anyway, and Ron, where can people find you?
You can always just follow me on Instagram at HeyRon, website heyron.com, and Twitter is Ron Babcock.
That's right.
At Ron Babcock.
And I got to say, Ron has been posting, if you guys are part of the Facebook group, we have a Facebook group called Maddox University for hot babes and geniuses who are hot babes only. And it is... It is. It's where
Fun little group.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's a fun little group, and Ron has been posting links to some of these Babcock tips.
Yeah,
if you're
it's more
interested.
like kind of more reading if you want to do on it. Kind of,
Yeah.
like, can you explain it longer than just a couple of 5-minute like little.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in. So
I'm pretty proud of that group. It is a good, clean group. There's some interesting discussion and debate in there. It hasn't devolved into just a bunch of garbage shit posting and vitriol. Like, people actually have discussions in there and debate, and they actually disagree with each other, but do it in a productive way, and I'm really proud of that. Taylor pops in there every now and then. I'll post things in there every now and then. A lot of people from Madcast. Oh, and by the way, Super Arrogant Bros. Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, hang out in there, hang out in the forum, talk to all the people who make the shows. We'll have a lot more coming in the future, but we should wrap up the show. Thank you again to E-Liquid. Thank you to my Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Thank you.
Thank you to Lesley Tsina, moderator in training.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But most of all, you're welcome.
All right, Maddox. So, in defense of what you call dipshit behaviors, like viral trends like plank or like the dances, maybe you're just old. Maybe you just don't get it. Maybe you just like these dancers are trying expression of, hey, I know culture. I know what's going on in the world. I'm hip with the time. Yeah, so maybe you just not getting it is you just being old and not understanding it. I don't know. Well, thanks for all the great content. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like a typical voicemail where they'll shit on you and then say something really sweet at the end. But you know what? Sometimes it's not sweet enough and it doesn't save you from this.
Douchebag of the week.
Douchebag of the week. We got 2 of them.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye. Madcast Media Network.